Hi everyone, I'm Nick and welcome to my lab. In this video, I will show you how to build a vertical rack style system within a grow tent with EMT. EMT stands for electric metallic tubing. EMT is used widely by commercial electricians to run wire in commercial buildings. Now I chose to build a vertical rack for a few reasons. The first reason is that I'm interested in primarily growing ornamental plants. And ornamental plants typically at finish are only 1 to 2 feet tall. So I don't need a lot of vertical space to grow these plants. The second reason is that having a vertical rack within a grow tent will allow me to walk inside the grow tent and work on my plants with the door shut behind me. So in that way, I'm maintaining the environment within the grow tent and not stressing the plants out too much. There are many options for building a vertical rack. Perhaps the most common and popular is using commercially available wire shelving. Now I've done that in the past and it works great. The problem with wire shelving is that the racks that are available in common sizes don't always fit perfectly within a grow tent. Sometimes they're too wide or not wide enough, or perhaps, as in this case, they're not tall enough. So using EMT will allow me to build an entirely customizable rack system for my grow tent and really maximize my growing space. Now, EMT is really easy to work with. This is a very soft steel and it's intended to be soft so electricians can bend it around obstacles in the buildings that they're working with. There are a few options to cut this. Commercial guys will use a portaband, which is a portable style bandsaw. You can use a hacksaw, but I think after you cut 1 or 2, you'll quickly give up on that. The best way to cut this stuff is with these metal tube cutters. So you'll find these in the plumbing section of any hardware store. They're really easy to use. All you gotta do is mark it where you wanna cut it, place this blade on your mark, tighten it to its snug, and then just go around a turn, tighten a little more, and just keep going around until you actually cut the pipe. So if you're in an apartment, this makes no noise except for when you drop the pipe afterwards. And then these often come with a reamer, so the edge is kind of sharp, so you can just take that edge off and make it so you don't cut yourself. Now, there are many brands of these connectors on the market. Probably the best is made by a company called Maker Pipe. Their product is made in the USA. It's very high quality, but in this case, for a grow tent, it's only supporting a lightweight LED light, a tray, and a few plants. So maybe 10 pounds max. So you don't really need something that strong. So I went on Amazon and I looked if there are any cheaper options available. And it turns out there are several. There's really cheap options, and then there's some in between. I chose to go with one in between. Had pretty good reviews. The brand is called Fanmo, and I've been very happy with the product. Now, there are many types of these connectors on the market. So there are 90s, which are intended for corners. There are these 180s, T-clamps, and then there's an adjustable style. So for this grow tent, I went with just the 180s and the T-clamps, and it worked out great. I bought some 90s, but ended up not using them. So these clamps, and even from Maker Pipe, they're intended to be used for 3/4 EMT. So since this is 1/2-inch EMT, these connectors come with these plastic shims or bushings. They're really easy to use. You just clamp them on your pipe where you want to make your connection, and then you wrap your connector around like this. And after you fiddle with it for a while, and then you just, geez Louise. So once you have it around, you drop your bolt through, you put your nut on, and it forms a really tight connection. All right, so now let's go into the tent and see what I actually did. What you barking at, Chip? Mister, can I help you with anything? Make sure when you pick this up from the hardware store, you actually sight it, kind of like you would with a piece of wood. This EMT is pretty malleable, it bends pretty easily. So you just want to make sure you sight down and make sure what you're buying isn't actually bent. So in total, I used 33 of these T connectors and I used, I believe, 4 of these 180s. I'll put the total cost up here on the screen. The beauty of this system is you're taking advantage of the structure of the grow tent. So for instance, I have 3 poles that run from the ceiling all the way to the floor. So one on the edge, one here in the middle, and then I have another one here on the edge. And then I have these horizontals. So I have one here, one in the back, duplicated on the bottom, and then everything is copied here on the side. So originally, my goal for this was to copy the fast fit tray system that is used for grow trays. And so with those, the trays actually sit on these cross pieces. But what I found is I needed to use these cross pieces to hang the light. So what I'm starting to do is move them to the side, and then I'll put a third one here in the middle to support the middle of the tray, because you need support in the middle of the trays or else they'll sag. Where these pieces, these connectors, interact with the structure of the tent, I did have to shim a few of them. So for instance, this 180, I just shimmed it with a piece of cardboard. But for others, like for example, down here at the bottom, I didn't have to shim it. It was able to tighten down just fine on the pipe. So this is a Gorilla Grow tent. The pipe size, I believe, is 22 millimeters. Depending on the grow tent that you buy, you may have to shim your connectors where they actually tie into the frame of the grow tent. And you could do that with paper, cardboard, really anything you have laying around. So there you go. That's how I use metal EMT and these connectors to build a vertical rack within a grow tent. I think this is a great solution for most people because it's really easy, it's really affordable, and anyone can do it. So let me know what you think. I'm sure people have done this before, but I haven't seen a video where someone has shown us their system. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one.